Good morning, Facebook family and friends. Hope everybody's doing fantastic today, man. It's been an incredible day already. Got my day started super early. Talked to a couple friends actually overseas. Talked to some of my family overseas this morning. And I also talked to some of my reps last night. I was talking to some of my business partners, and we were kicking back some ideas and some things. And something came up that just absolutely blew me away. And I can't, I can't believe I didn't really realize this sooner. I didn't realize this earlier. Well, I kind of did because I've heard about it and I've thought about it, but I never really gave it the attention it deserved. I never really gave it enough attention, if you will. So when I really, dug a little deeper with this after talking to a couple of, high producers, top producers in the industry and in my company specifically, and we did a simple call yesterday just to kind of kick back and kick around some ideas, which we often do in business with, our leadership team, our mastermind groups, and things of that nature. So I wanted to share some of these thoughts with you guys. And there's really only one thing, okay? Only one thing that will either create or destroy you. It will either help you rise or fall. It will either take you to that next level or keep you at the same level forever. Okay? And that one thing, guys, is your attitude. It's your attitude towards how you view things, towards everything, whether it's in life, whether it's in business, whether it's relationship related, whatever that may be, it's your attitude. So often, especially in the network marketing world and being around the personal development and the self-development arena, I've heard time and time and time again that your attitude will determine your altitude, okay? And I got it, I knew it, and I've always had a decent attitude, but I didn't really think about it a whole lot, right? I thought it was just one of those quaint little cute sayings that we have in the personal development world, and something that people just say because it sounds good. But really, I want you to step back for a moment, and I want you to think about this, because it truly makes a huge difference, because your attitude becomes your habits, okay? That's the big idea here, okay? We've heard that saying, right? Thoughts become things. Well, thoughts become actions, which become habits, which become results. So when you really think about that and dive a little deeper, it's absolutely incredible how your attitude will absolutely determine the way that people respond to you and how you respond to people, which makes a world of difference. And here's what I mean by this, okay? A couple of months ago, well, not a couple months ago, it's probably about 5 months ago, I'd been working with my company, with MWR Life, for a little over a year at that point. I was at the top of my game, earned some top ranks, earned some income, earned some bonuses and all that stuff, and things were great. But I wasn't doing anything else but focusing on business. I was neglecting friends, family, relationships. I was not paying much attention to, anything other than business, which is, it sounds good, right? In theory, because you got to be obsessed with your business, but you also got to pay attention to some of these other things, right? So in return, I started getting neglected because I was neglecting, right? Because it was my attitude towards everything other than business. Business was doing great, but I was neglecting my girlfriend a little bit. I was neglecting my family. I wasn't paying much attention to anything else but business. I wasn't even paying attention to myself, my body. I've always been in the gym since I was 14 years old. I've always stayed in pretty good shape. I've always lifted. When I was about 25, 26 years old, which is 3 or 4 years ago, I was in the best shape of my life. I was lifting some ridiculous heavy weights. I was pushing some, monster weights in the gym. Things were going great. And then I got tied up in business and I totally forgot about everything else. I actually made a conscious decision that I was going to stop going to the gym so that I could focus more on my business. So my attitude towards myself, my body, was, hey, I'm going to neglect you for a while because this is more important than the body, right? This is more important than staying in good shape. So here's what I'm saying here, guys. Every single day you have a choice. You have a decision to make. And that decision is, how am I going to react and how am I going to treat the people around me, number one, right? My friends, my family, my business associates, everyone around me. Number two, how am I going to treat myself? Okay? Am I going to take care of myself, or am I going to neglect myself? Am I going to just, throw my health to the wayside because this business thing is more important? And that's what I've been kind of thinking about and kicking around for the last 24 hours here. And I want to share these thoughts with you guys, because that attitude thing, guys, it will determine not only how you react to others, but how they react to you. And you do have control in those situations. Now, granted, there are some people whose minds you're never going to change. They're so stuck in their ways, they're not ready yet. Okay, but you got to move it along, keep it going. Don't let those type of individuals stop you from achieving your goals and dreams because of something they say or do or whatever. Remember, they don't do things to you. People don't never do things to you. They do them for themselves in accordance to their attitudes. Okay? So, it's important to be a positive thinker, but it's also very important to keep it real and keep it realistic. So you got to pay attention to that attitude, my friends, because it will absolutely create or it will absolutely destroy the results that you seek. Whatever it is that you're going after right now, whether it's a personal goal, a relationship goal, a business goal, a health and fitness goal, whatever that may be. So, I'll give you a perfect example of this. So a year and a half, I literally did not even step foot in the gym, didn't even drive by the gym. I stayed away. I was focused on business. I was out of town a lot. I was out doing meetings and presentations and one-on-ones and conference calls and all of the things that were necessary to get my business off the ground. But about 5 months ago, I made this decision. I made a decision. I said, you know what? And it was actually made on the spot. And here's what I mean. I don't know if you guys can see this or not, but this is my gym right here, okay? And that's the place where I get my haircuts. It's next door, okay? I actually came in here to get a haircut. I had some things lined up for that day. I came in early to get my haircut, and I was in the chair getting my haircut, and the guy that cuts my hair actually made a kind of a comment, and he said something like, man, we're getting old and we're getting fat and all these kind of comments. And I said, man, I'm not old and I'm not fat. I'm just a little out of shape right now because, I haven't been in the gym in a year and a half. And, that one single comment, because of, what he said, I could have just sat there in that chair and just kind of, felt crappy about the way that I was treating myself and my body, or I made the opposite decision. The decision I made is to go to the gym that day. I'm talking about I walked out of the hair salon, got my hair cut, got out of there. I was already in sweatpants. I literally walked into the gym and jumped on the treadmill that day because I made a decision in an instant that, you know what, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to be like that. I'm not going to be that guy that is just only focused on business and nothing else. I'm no longer going to do that. So I still do my business. I'm still full-time. I'm still taking care of the things that need taking care of. There's some things that we, sometimes don't feel like dealing with, but you got to deal with because it's part of life and it's part of business. And I do that. But I also make sure that I get in the gym every single day. So here's the results from that. Okay. The results from that is 5 months ago, I made that decision. I haven't missed a day in the gym except for that week that I was sick. As you guys saw, if you've been following me for a while, I was in the hospital for that day, and then it took me about a week to recover from it. So I made that decision, and here we are. I started 5 months ago. I weighed 215 pounds. I'm 5'8", guys. So 5'8", even though I'm a little stocky and kind of built, it shows when you weigh 215, okay? It definitely shows, especially when you wear fitted shirts and custom suits and things like that all the time. You definitely notice the difference. So I got into the gym, and now after 5 months of not missing a day and being consistent and persistent with it, I am down to about 180 pounds. Okay. So that's 35 pounds that I've lost in that 5 month period because I did cardio every day. I ran a mile, lifted weights, and usually did another mile. And then one day a week, I do nothing but cardio. So that's the results from that consistency. Okay, so here's what I'm getting at here, guys, and I know this is going a little longer than I normally like to go, but I feel that this is something that people out there need to understand and need to hear, okay? Here's what the point is. That attitude that I had towards my business wasn't serving me well. It wasn't serving my family well. It wasn't serving my significant other well. It wasn't serving anybody well except for people that were related to me from a business standpoint, okay? So, yes, I was doing well and things are going okay, but now that I've changed this kind of outlook over the last 5-6 months, I'm seeing a tremendous amount of results, much better results than I did when I was neglecting other things in life and in business. So, as that persistency continued, okay, and now I'm more cognizant of that. I pay more attention to my family. I have a much better relationship with my mom and dad because I talk to them more, okay? Before, I was just ignoring them completely. I was ignoring my friends completely. Now I make it a point to text at least one or two of my friends every single day. Just say, hey, what's up? What's going on? How's your life going? What do you got going on? Not for business purposes, just to check in. because you gotta water and feed those relationships, my friends. Otherwise, by neglecting them, you get neglected in return, and it doesn't serve you well. It just doesn't serve you well. So it's that persistence and that consistency that's going to carry you over in life. And it's that attitude that you start off with, because the attitude, once you start off with that type of attitude and persistently change your outlook on life and on business and on relationships and on friends, it becomes a habit. And once it becomes a habit, then it's not effort. It's not something that you have to push for and drive for every single day. You just do it without thinking about it. And that's the importance of what I'm trying to tell you guys today. So, from a physical standpoint, 5 months ago, I started, lost 35 pounds. And I'm not saying that bragging. Please don't take it that way. That is not the point of this video, okay? Even though I can brag about it a little bit, okay? Because I am proud of it. So, even though that decision was made in an instant, look at the results 5 months down the road. Okay, look at the results as they carry out and multiply, because that's what happens when a decision is made. And in business, it's the same thing. You see people in our industry specifically, well, not just our industry, people in real estate. People get licensed in real estate. Thousands of people get licensed every day. And by the end of this year, most of them had never produced anything in real estate, and most of them have already quit. Okay, network marketing is the same way. People get started in network marketing. They have all this excitement, this bright outlook on the future, and then because they don't really consistently put effort forth, it dwindles out. Okay, these things, guys, are they're guarded by principles. They're guarded by laws of nature that cannot be neglected. When we went to school, we were taught kind of backwards, right? Because when we go to school, we could slack off for an extended period of time and then cram for one night and then still do okay on the test. I was one of those kids. I was one of the kids in school that could not study, not pay attention, sleep in class, and then right before the test, I could literally pick the book up, cram for about 2 hours, and go take the test, and I still would do pretty good on the test. It's just the way that I work. My mind works that way, and I know a lot of people work that way too. So because we were taught that way and we learned these habits when we were young, they carry over into the rest of our life. So now we neglect things for extended periods of time, and then we go and try and do something for a week, 2 weeks, maybe, right? And we don't see it working, and then we kind of fade out, right? And I see so many people in the gym, especially, it happens all the time. I hate, okay, and I don't use this word often. I don't usually hate anything, but the one thing that I hate, being kind of a gym rat for most of my life, is the day or the week after New Year's. And here's why. Because the week after New Year's, people have New Year's resolutions. Everybody's going to lose 20, 30, 40, 50 pounds, okay? So that first 2 weeks after New Year's, the gym is absolutely insane. Thank God that I'm an entrepreneur now, because when I wasn't, I was always an entrepreneur with my restaurant business, but I couldn't come in here in the morning like I can now, where it's not jam-packed, okay? But the week after New Year's, it gets absolutely insane in the gym. If you've been in a gym the first and second week after New Year's, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You've got to wait for everything because everybody's in the gym. But 90%, okay, 90% of the people that made the New Year's resolution on December 31st have already quit by January 6th. 7 days later, they've already quit. They've already, in their mind, given up. They're not going back to the gym, okay? And by January 14th, which is the very following week, so 2 weeks, 14 days, 99% of those people have already given up, and they're never going to step foot in the gym again until the next year, because they see the results. See, that's the thing, guys. We may hate the results. Sometimes we see the results in our bank account and we say, I'm never going to let this happen again. I'm going to work extra hours. I'm going to find a side business. I'm going to get a side hustle. I'm going to do something so that this never happens to me again. I'll never be broke again. But we try something for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then we give up on it because it just seems too hard, too difficult. It seems like it's not going to happen in 3 weeks. Guys, you can't cram in life like you did in high school or like you did in college. You cannot cram in life because it's guarded by principles. You got to be persistent, you got to be consistent, and you got to have a good attitude. Those three things are what's going to be the game changer for you, but you got to do it for extended periods of time. And I'm not talking about 2 weeks. That's nothing. That's a blink of an eye in the grand scheme of things. So keep this in mind, okay? Your attitude will always determine your altitude in life, because thoughts do become things. Thoughts become actions, which become results. And the results that we have today are a sum or a grand total of all the thoughts that we've had the past however many years of our life. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you. If you've got some value out of this, like it, give it a little W, a little wow. I love those things. Give it a share, and I'll see each and every one of you at the very top. Be blessed and have a great rest of your day.